you for being here this evening. It is lovely to see you all here at our new venue for our Medley of Melodies, Christ Methodist here in Elmhurst. Delightful to have you all with us this evening. We believe you will have a wonderful night of varied entertainment today. We have a number of our singers from our ensemble, Elmhurst Choral Union, who are going to be doing some solos and some duets. We have appearances by our Elmhurst Choral Union chamber singers, and I think you're going to be delighted with the presentations that you're going to have tonight and see. It's a varied kind of music, so it's just like the weather around here. If you don't like the song you heard, wait, the next one will be different, okay? So, as we get started this evening, I want to make sure that we give proper hello, thank you, to our collaborative pianist, Kevin Wong, who will be playing all night long today. And for those of you who are not aware, I am Scott Uttenberg, and I am the artistic director and the conductor of the Elmhurst Choral Union, and I will be your master of ceremonies for this evening. Along the way, I'll tell you a little bit more about ECU and things that we have been up to this year and things that we have planned for upcoming next year and the like. There's a lot of exciting things that are taking place, and hopefully I can give you a couple of insights on some of the things that musically we are doing this evening. We're going to begin with a Broadway musical that you may not have heard of because it is so new. It is from actually 2022. And the show is called Shucked. Yes, I did say that right. And I was very careful about my first consonant. So it is indeed called Shucked, and it is a musical about corn, yes. Yes, it is a musical that is about a town whose economic drive is the producing of corn. And of course, that's not the only thing that happened. It has a couple of very unique pieces about it. Oh, it's so fun because it's set in Cobb County. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. So it won a couple of Tony Awards in its first year on Broadway. And additionally, it has the distinction, believe it or not, of being the first Broadway musical that has had a principal performer being portrayed by a non-binary person. First time it ever happened in Broadway history, so it's kind of an interesting first from that show. We have the lovely Kate McFerrin, who is going to come and sing a song called Walls. It's really a very interesting piece of music. It's beautiful. She's going to sing it wonderfully, so welcome her up to sing Walls.
Stubborn and we're prideful, don't need nobody else. We'd rather get our tooth pulled than ever ask for help, and that's always served us well until right now. But our way of life is dying and we haven't got a prayer. The truth is I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared to go and let the outside in, even if it turns us inside out. We build walls around our homes, around our hearts, build them tall, so what's inside won't fall apart. But if we just stay here in limbo, we could lose it all. So I'm looking for a window, not a wall. We only see the danger in places we've not been. We never think a stranger could ever be a friend. But every friend you got is someone that you didn't used to know. So I build walls a wall. If we could find a window, not a wall.
That's good. I'm glad we have fans here tonight. That's great. One of the things that's just lovely about this evening is that all of our singers are so used to me telling them what to do. And they then can pick anything that they're going to sing tonight, see? So it's like I really don't have any say whatsoever about what they're bringing up. So it means that we end up with having a variety of music, and it's just really great. Emily Kay, who has graciously played for us her harp before, is also a terrific singer, is going to sing some Brahms this evening, and it's absolutely lovely. Johann Brahms is well known for his songs. He lived during what is defined as the Romantic period in music. This particular song is part of a set, Opus 43, and it's just simply called Four Songs. It's written somewhere around 1866, but it's also a little bit ahead of its time, because the translation of von ewiger Liebe is eternal love. But the primary character, most art songs were, as you might have expected, in some cases written without a gender in mind. And so, but this particular song is defined to be a woman to sing this song. And the character here is absolutely quite strong. Brahms' mother was very important in his life, and when he had a tendency of writing or picking poems that he set to music, women that were very strong in character. And it's assumed that some of that is from the influence that his mother had on his life. And so Emily's coming up and singing Brahms' Von ewiger Liebe. performer has been with ECU for a number of years. It makes me think about the fact that this particular occasion, the Medley of Melodies, predates me as the artistic director by a number of years. My predecessor, Jim McDonald, had actually started this as a fundraiser and an opportunity for members of the chorus to get together and share music for one another. And they did it once and twice, and suddenly it stuck. And I can't even tell you how many years it's been, but I know it's got to be probably over 20. Somebody will correct me now that will remember, but I won't call anybody else in the moment to identify that they might have been at the first one. But Kathy Sullivan is coming up to sing, and she's going to sing a piece that actually does have some recognition to it. It was written in 1938, and you probably think of it as somewhat of a World War II era song, but it was actually composed before that for the Broadway musical stage and also made an appearance in a film. But you're bound to recognize it because no less than significant performers such as Billie Holiday, Bing Crosby, and Frank Sinatra, along with Brenda Lee, have actually performed this song. And I know that I'll be seeing you, Kathy Sullivan, as you come up to sing this song.
And our hearts sang on. Was it the spell of Paris or the April dawn? Who knows if we should meet again? But when the morning chimes so sweet again, I'll be seeing you in all the familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. In that small cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut trees, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is through, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you.
When we do the annual Medley of Melodies, we generally are going to have representatives from this particular composing duo. However, we don't have lots of representation from this duo tonight. That's totally fine, of course. Rodgers and Hammerstein wrote The King and I, and it debuted on Broadway in the 1950s. It is indeed based on a book that was indeed written on a true life experience by a woman who went to Siam to work as a nanny for the children of the King of Siam. And it indeed was an experience of connecting cultures at a time when the world was a much bigger place than it is today. It is a wonderful story. that oftentimes doesn't get done anymore as a result of some of the changing perspectives of what kinds of performers can perform what types of roles. A performer like Yul Brynner, who ended up performing the King and the King of Siam for over 8,000 performances, perhaps now would not be considered for that role any longer. However, the sentiments of this show actually do teach us a lesson. And we are going to have a longtime participant, Mary Massey, come up and sing this delightful song as Anna was getting to get to know her charges in Getting to Know You.
Down a little. It's a very ancient saying, but a true and honest thought, that if you become a teacher, by your pupils you'll be taught. As a teacher I've been learning, you'll forgive me if I boast, but I've now become an expert on the subject I like most. Getting to know you. Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you. Getting to like you. Getting to hope you like me. Getting to know you. Putting it my way, but nicely. You are precisely my cup of tea. Getting to know you, getting to feel free and easy. When I am with you, getting to know what to say. Haven't you noticed? Suddenly I'm bright and breezy because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you day by day. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Getting to like you, getting to hope you like me. Getting to know you, putting it my way, but nicely. You are precisely my cup of tea. Getting to know you, getting to feel free and easy. When I am with you, getting to know what to say. Haven't you noticed? Suddenly I'm bright and breezy because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you day by day.
Our next performer, Sarah Schmidt, is somebody who has been performing at Medley of Melodies for a number of, I think for as long as I can recall, being here and presiding over everything. And it's just delightful. Her voice has just grown so much over time. She's going to do a wonderful number. This is from the musical Anastasia. And for those of you who are not familiar with this, I could talk up here half an hour about this piece. Anastasia is based on what was supposed to have been a true life story of a princess of the Tsar of Russia who was deposed during the Russian Revolution and was thought to have been lost as the family was escaping from St. Petersburg. there has been a a movie made about the story, and there was somebody that claimed to be the princess. Turned out, thanks to medical science, they proved that through DNA that it really wasn't the actual princess. So the true story is that we don't know what happened to this princess of the Tsar of Russia. But this delightful musical puts it into a lovely story that has a happy ending, and we'd rather think of things in those terms anyway. It was originally an animated film in 1997. Don Bluth was the animator, and he had worked for Walt Disney many years and actually created this film after doing a couple of successful films based on a mouse coming to America. And it was finally made into a stage musical in 2017 after having an off-Broadway debut. Sarah is going to sing one of the early songs exploring and telling us about Anastasia's past called Journey to the Past.
Heart, don't fail me now. Courage, don't desert me. Don't turn back now that we're here. People always say life is full of choices. No one ever mentions fear or how the world can seem so vast on a journey to the past. Somewhere down this road, I know someone's waiting. Years of dreams just can't be wrong. Arms will open wide. I'll be safe and wanted. Finally home where I belong. Well, starting now, I'm learning fast on this journey to the past. Home, love, family. There was once a time I must have had them too. Home, love, family. I will never be complete until I find you. One step at a time, one hope then another. Who knows where this road may go? Back to who I was, on to find my future, things my heart still needs to know. So let this be a sign, let this road be mine, let it lead me to my past and bring me home at last.
This next song. First of all, Kip came. Will be making their very first appearance here at a Medley of Melodies performance for Elmhurst Choral Union, and we're excited about this. You're going to love this. So this number, Lin-Manuel Miranda, actually made an appearance on the television show House. Everybody remember the show House? Its star was Hugh Laurie. And I cannot think of Hugh Laurie of actually being a comedic actor, because particularly based on his stint on House, he was a very dramatic show, and he's actually had a number of appearances. As a sidelight, there is this Night Manager show you can find on Hulu. I think it's Hulu. It's either that on Amazon Prime. He's actually in that show too, and he is really a bad guy in that one. So I find it very difficult to think of Hugh Laurie as he was one of the funniest comic teams in British history. All right, and I've even gone back and watched some of his stuff with his partner, and I'm thinking they're ridiculous. So if you have not looked, anyway, if you haven't seen Hugh Laurie doing any of these comedies routines, you got to go back and look it up. He was on Blackadder and everything else, same time as the Monty Python stuff. You like Monty Python? You got to watch these guys. All right. Anyway, Lin-Manuel Miranda was on House, and he was discussing the relationship between America and Britain with Hugh Laurie. Hugh Laurie is the reason that Lin wrote this number. You'll Be Back from Hamilton. I'm not sure they still want us anymore. But Kip is going to tell us how it is that the King George was still thinking about us even after the American Revolution.
My subjects. Kevin. You say the price of my love's not a price that you're willing to pay. You cry in your tea, which you hurl in the sea when you see me go by. Why so sad? Remember we made an arrangement when you went away. Now you're making me mad. Remember, despite our estrangement, I'm your man. You'll be back, soon you'll see. You'll remember you belong to me. You'll be back, time will tell. You'll remember that I served you well. Oceans rise, empires fall. We have seen each other through it all. And when push comes to shove, I will send a fully armed battalion to remind you of my love. Da 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 da. You say our love is draining and you can't go on. You'll be the one complaining when I am gone. And no, don't change the subject, 'cause you're my favorite subject. My sweet, submissive subject. My loyal, royal subject. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You'll be back like before. I will fight the fight and win the war. For your love, for your praise, and I'll love you till my dying days. When you're gone, I'll go mad, so don't throw away this thing we had. 'Cause when push comes to shove, I will kill your friends and family to remind you of my love. Da 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 everybody. Da 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 da. Thank you, my subjects.
We're going to stay on our America 250 theme. Sherman Edwards actually was anticipating the anniversary we celebrated in 1976 of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. We were embroiled in the Vietnam War at the time. And so what was a celebration of American independence and the American ideal also had moments in it that were very distinctly messages to the generation of that time, reminding of the horrors and the difficulties and the trauma that comes with war. The song Mama Looks Sharp was both in the film, 1776, and the original Broadway show. Brandon Michaels is going to come up along with Amanda and do the version that appeared in the original stage production, in which the soldier who was actually coming back was talking about someone that he lost to his mother in letters being written home. This is Mama Look Sharp.
Mama, hey mama, come looking for me. I'm here in the meadow by the red maple tree. Mama, hey mama, look sharp, here I be. Hey, hey, mama, look sharp. My eyes are wide open, my face to the sky. Is that you I'm hearing in the tall grass nearby?
next performer is going to be Jeff Sunwall. He's going to come up and he's going to play. You can come on up and get yourself set. There he is. And while he's doing that, I'm actually going to speak to you about the insert that you have in your program. As you are probably aware, the Medley of Melodies is a fundraising activity for the Elmhurst Choral Union. And as a result, we have a couple of different ways that you can support us. But one of them is the brainchild of Mr. Jeff here, and that is this double good popcorn fundraiser that we have, that you have a little insert into your program. If you actually just zap that QR code, and between now and February 4th, which is, I think, if I'm counting your eyes, on Wednesday, maybe it's Thursday. You are going, March 4th, yeah. Yeah, what did I say? Oh, well, it's not February anymore. So you can put your order here in and order this delicious popcorn. It's really, really great. Very much like that stuff that we sell here in town, which I won't mention since we're not selling that stuff. And it will support half of what it is that you spend on the popcorn comes directly to ECU. And so we would really appreciate you deciding. And if you can take this home with you and do it anytime in the next few days, it doesn't have to be tonight. Jeff is going to change our mood here a little bit, which is nice. Dorothy Fields is one of the folks that actually wrote a piece of this music, and Dorothy Fields is a fascinating person in Broadway musical theater history. She was responsible for actually getting two major composers to write musicals after World War II. One of them happens to be Irving Berlin, who was pretty much kind of like in retirement stage, and all the Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals had been going on, and that's not the way that he had done musicals, and he wasn't really comfortable. He had been working out in Hollywood making films like Holiday Inn and Blue Skies with people like Fred Astaire and Bing Crosby and Gene Kelly and the like. But Dorothy brought him back to Broadway to set the story of Annie Get Your Gun, because Rodgers and Hammerstein were too busy to actually get that project underway, and thus Broadway history was born. But she also was instrumental in getting Cole Porter to do the same thing with Kiss Me Kate, and there was a little musical that she helped put together called Damn Yankees, which was all about baseball. And so absolutely so important to Broadway musical theater history at a time when there weren't a lot of women that were writing music, but she did it all. She wrote music, she wrote lyrics, and she actually wrote book as well. She was an incredibly talented woman. So it's very good to represent her on our program tonight. Jeff is going to play her song, On the Sunny Side of the Street. Bennett always has an interesting piece that he's brought, and this year he's brought a fascinating piece. It's a Fleetwood Mac song. Gypsy is what he's going to be performing. So, for those of you that remember this and remember Fleetwood Mac, I'm going to tell you, it came out in 1979. Yes, that's over 40 years ago, yes. It's almost 50 years ago now, yeah. And, but it's very interesting. The song actually, as done by Fleetwood Mac with Stevie Nicks as the lead singer, reached all the way to number 12 on the charts in 1979. But it has a very poignant story, as a lot of things that you kind of are learning tonight, there's always seems to be a story behind the music. And in this particular case, it is a piece that was written by Stevie Nicks, and it was written for a friend of hers who had recently passed away. So it was a direct inspiration from a friend that she had lost. But she does have a very personal connection because she did what was an acoustic version of this song now, not that long ago, to be played underneath her own personal biopic. Matt's going to come up and sing Gypsy by Stevie Nicks.
So I'm back to the under-velvet, underground, back to the floor that I love, to a room with some lace and paper flowers, to the gypsy that I was, to the gypsy that I was. And it all comes down to you. Well, you know that it does, and lightning strikes, maybe once, maybe twice. Oh, and it lights up the night. You see your gypsy, and you see your gypsy. To the gypsy that remains, her face says freedom with a little fear. Have no fear, have only love. And if I was a child, and the child was enough, enough for me to love, enough to love. She is dancing away from me now. She was just a wish, she was just a wish. And her memory is all that is left for you now. You see your gypsy. Oh, you see your gypsy.
Kind of ironic, I set these things like this, but when I think about it, I can see why I did it. This very next number, when I was growing up, I didn't really know the difference between Hello Dolly and Mame and Gypsy. It's like, oh, they're all musicals, and apparently they were all had a female lead, and I couldn't tell the difference. Well, now I know the difference. That's not from the musical Gypsy, A. And B, quite frankly, Hello, Dolly is very different than the musical Mame. Actually, Mame is really almost like a precursor of that absolutely now delighted television sitcom, The Golden Girls. You could almost say that was more kind of towards that. And even though Angela Lansbury, who was the star of Mame, was not on The Golden Girls, Lord knows she probably should have been, right? So her compatriot in the musical, B. Arthur, who was indeed on The Golden Girls, did a fantastic number together that actually became a Broadway standard very much thereafter. It debuted in 1966. We have our own Golden Girls coming up now to perform Jerry Herman's Bosom Buddies. Here is Ed and Bert.
So, Ed, how long have we been friends?
Well, this is just my 12th Messiah.
It's only my age, but I am younger than you. We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you.
If I say that your tongue is vicious,
I call you uncouth.
it's simply that who else but a bosom buddy will sit down and tell you the truth.
Though now and again I'm aware that my candid opinion may small.
Though often my frank observation might sting.
I've been meaning to tell you for years you should keep your hair natural, like mine.
Well, if I kept my hair natural like yours, I'd be blind. But, darling,
We'll
always be dear companions, my crony.
We'll
Always be
harmonizing.
harmonizing.
You a little flat there, Ed?
How would you know? Orphan Annie and Sandy.
Like Liz and Andy.
If I say that your sense of style is as far off as your youth, it's only then who else but a bosom buddy will sit down and tell you the truth.
I've been meaning to tell you, you really need to adapt to your age. You try to be Romeo, but you're really Beth. How old are you, Ed?
Well, how old do you think?
Somewhere between 40 and death.
Sweet, I'll always be Alice Douglas, your favorite sign. And though I'll admit I've dissed you, I've cussed and loaded, but I'm so devoted.
And if I say that sex and bust made you into a star,
Moving a little forward in Broadway musical theater history, we have a song from a movie a musical that started as a B-grade horror film starring Jack Nicholson. Little Shop of Horrors came out with director Roger Corman in the late 1960s, at that time when black and white films like Dawn of the Dead were in vogue. Alan Menken and his partner, oh dear now, we didn't write it down and I certainly should remember, Howard Ashman. Howard Ashman sat down and decided to put together a little something that spoofed and also kind of gave homage to that particular genre, except no Broadway producers were going to actually do it for them, so they had to produce the show as an off-Broadway show. It debuted in 1982. Well, it had a little bit of success because as a result of this show, Alan Menken and Howard Ashman wrote a little piece for Disney that was called The Little Mermaid. It started a brand new trend in Broadway musicals on film, animated as they may be, but as of course, as you know, all of the Menken and Ashman cartoons from Disney of that period have been made into stage shows. So it was the very first place that Alan Menken wrote a Broadway show, and it is a good one. Brooke Andrews and Brandon Mike will come up and do probably one of my favorites from this show, Suddenly Seymour.
Lift up your head, wash off your mascara. Here, take my Kleenex, wipe that lipstick away. Show me your face, clean as the morning. I know things were bad, but now they're okay. Suddenly, Seymour is standing beside you. You don't need no makeup, don't have to pretend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide you sweet understanding. Seymour's your friend.
Nobody ever treated me kindly. Daddy left early. Mama was poor. I'd meet a man and I'd follow him blindly. He'd snap his finger at me. I'd say sure. Suddenly Seymour is standing beside me. He don't give me orders. He don't condescend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide me sweet understanding. Seymour's my
Tell me this feeling lasts till forever. Tell me the bad times are clean washed away.
Please understand that it's still strange and frightening with losers like I've been. It's so hard to say. Suddenly Seymour, he purified me.
He purified you.
Suddenly Seymour, shows me I can.
Yes, you can be more.
The girl that's
Inside you with sweet understanding. With sweet understanding. With sweet understanding. Seymour's your
and we're going to be doing this fantastic aria from there's probably an argument as to maybe the best 20th century American opera written between Susanna and this piece, The Ballad of Baby Doe. This opera actually debuted at New York City Opera in 1956. Some people would argue with me that maybe Candide should be in this argument, but Candide has established itself as a Broadway musical. Douglas Moore was the composer, and it tells a story of essentially the economic basis on gold and the importance instead of moving that economic basis to silver. You may recall that this was a point in time where the United States was still on the gold standard, and all of our economic wealth was backed by gold at Fort Knox. It seems to be an argument that seems to be long in the past, and yet somehow it still resonates today. I think you're going to enjoy hearing this fantastic piece from the Ballad of Baby Doe, the Silver Aria.
Old as a fine thing,
our chamber singers to come up and join us, and as they're doing so, I'm going to take this opportunity to let you know that we have a fantastic concert coming up at the end of May. And just like we have here, we have a new performance venue for our performance this coming May, and that is the Elmhurst Christian Reformed Church down on Brush Hill Road. It's down by the hospital, by Elmhurst Hospital. They're calling it Endeavor or something or other, I think, now, but it's still Elmhurst Hospital for those of us that know that. We will be performing Carl Orff's Carmina Burana. And if you haven't seen one of the 17 performances of Carmina Burana in the area so far this year, we would love to have you come and join us for hours at the end of May. We are really privileged to be able to do this in conjunction with the men of Spirito and also the kids from Spirito. They will be joining us for this performance. And as usual, we will have our fully professional orchestra and soloists to do this particular work. It is absolutely exciting. And if you're like, I don't know Carmina Burana, what is that? Yes, you do. Because almost any time that you've heard some kind of show where something is supposed to be very dramatic and you hear, ba, 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 oh, Fortuna, that's Carmina Burana. So you know it very, very well. So come and join us. We would love to have you come and attend our performance. We can get some more details on our website about tickets for that particular performance. I think I'm going to keep my mouth shut, except I will tell you what we're doing next before I bring my other stand over. This is the Elmhurst Choral Union Chamber Singers. It's an ensemble that actually does performances throughout the northwestern and western suburbs. Everything from retirement communities to outside in the cold to baseball games to all kinds of wonderful venues. We do things both during the wintertime at Christmas, and we also do things during the spring and summer performances as well. We are going to be doing a piece that we've been working on that is called the Missa Gloria. It is using a standard text from the Gloria in the Latin Mass, but it is actually set in the style of a African community based on the composers visiting that particular area. We think it's quite fun, and we think that you're going to enjoy it. Brandon is going to be providing the solo for us, and he's going to do fantastic. So enjoy here, Missa Gloria.
Et in terra pax hominibus bone voluntatis benedicimus te glorificamus te tibi propter gloriam tuam et in terra pax hominibus bone voluntatis Domine Deus, Domine Deus, Domine Deus, ex celestis, Deus Pater omnipotens. Domine Filii genite Iesu Christe. Domine Deus, Domine Deus, Domine Deus, Domine Deus, agnus Dei, filius Patris. Qui tollis peccata mundi, miserere nobis, tollis peccata mundi, suscipe deprecationem nostra, sedes ad dexteram miserere nobis, miserere nobis, miserere nobis. Gloriam tu solus sanctus Dominus tu solus altissimus, Iesu Christe Dominus. Spiritu in gloria Dei Patris. Cum Sanctus Spiritu in gloria Dei Patris. Sanctus Spiritu in gloria Dei Patris.
this is your warning. We're going to be passing the hat, as they say, in a moment. And so I'd like you to think about making that contribution for tonight for our performance. But I also am going to let you know that we have a reception that you're going to be able to join us just down the hall. There is all kinds of wonderful food. So please stick around with us and enjoy some refreshments down there. I saw the food that they all bring. I didn't eat dinner tonight so that I can actually go down there and enjoy all of the food that we've got brought along. Mari Durava and Emily Undenberg are going to be singing a Broadway musical show number, sort of. It was a TV show by the name of Smash. Does anybody actually watch it? Yeah. Okay, so that was a television show that was a fictitious representation of a production company creating and producing and rehearsing a Broadway musical based on the life of Marilyn Monroe. Except the musical didn't really exist. But the producers of the television show did indeed write music for what would be a musical about the life of Marilyn Monroe. And so, now that this television show is actually finished, they're talking about producing a Broadway musical based on the musical that was written for the television show Smash. Just goes to show you that there is no lines anymore when it comes to all of our mass media. And so Molly and Emily are going to sing what is really a fantastic show, a fantastic number. The reason it is a duet with two people is because there's actually two people competing for the role of Marilyn Monroe. And at this point, they're each singing a song which is about Marilyn struggling with her identity of being either Marilyn or Norma Jean. It's really very poignant, and it's called Let Me Be Your Star from the television show Smash.
Fade in on a girl with a hunger for fame and a face and a name to remember.
So, like I say, thank you everybody for being here tonight. We certainly hope that you appreciate what we're doing, and as one of our major fundraising activities for this particular organization tonight, we would certainly like for you to help us and give us a little bit of support for our performance this night and for all that we do. Obviously, we certainly will take any contributions that you share with us this evening, but if for some reason you don't carry cash along with you anymore, there is a QR code that you can also use on your program to make a contribution that way for us. And of course, we certainly would be more than happy to have you visit our website some other point in time and create and do some kind of donation to our organization later on. As we're passing the plates along, I want to make sure that we are going to lift up our fine collaborative pianist, Kevin Wong, once again for all of his work this evening. Thank you, Kevin. As I said, this evening really is about all of the various folks in ECU coming and being able to share some of their talents with you beyond what it is that we do in our large ensemble. But as I have learned to figure, I cannot actually leave this evening with actually out sharing something with you all this evening, so please indulge me. As it can be attributed to my wife and daughters, picking what song I'm going to sing for this particular evening is always a struggle for me. It's not that I can't think of something to do, it's just what is it that you're going to do instead? So I had a little help in making my decision this year, but it also is generally informed by the kinds of things that are happening in and around, not just for me personally, but what the shape of the world is. Irving Berlin is synonymous with American music, and as we celebrate our 250th anniversary, to have an evening of music in this 250th anniversary year of the creation of this country would be a travesty. Irving Berlin was an immigrant. His parents were Russian Jews escaping persecution. They came to this country in order to find a better life, and a life filled with freedom. His father died early, and as a result, Irving had to take the responsibility of finding the money for his family. His father was a cantor in a Jewish synagogue, and there was no safety nets to take care of people who had actually lost a father figure or a major income provider for families. And so what Irving did is took what he had as inherent musical skill and went down to the local cafe and started waiting on tables. As the turn of the century came, music became a means in which people would find entertainment, just like we do today, hearing music being pumped through speakers. Electronic music wasn't available, so it was always live music when you were out. Irving Berlin found that you could make a little bit more money if you learned how to play the piano and played some songs. He indeed did do that, and his reward for playing the piano was nickels being thrown at him for whatever pieces that were enjoyed by the audience. Collecting those nickels, he eventually figured out that he could make more money composing music than he could doing any other kind of work. And so he started off writing music, and for the next almost 100 years, he was the voice of the American people. No less than what is essentially our defunct national anthem was written by Irving Berlin, God Bless America. This song comes from probably one of the most well-known films of Irving Berlin's music, White Christmas. And it's sung at a moment in which Bing Crosby is telling the lead character, Rosemary Clooney, about how it is to deal with difficult times. And so as I look around and see, once again, our country, quite frankly, in turmoil, and us taking different sides of arguments that pull us apart as opposed to bringing us together, I'm taking this opportunity to share with you a moment in which we count our blessings instead of sheep. When I'm worried and instead of she, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. When my bankroll is getting small, I think of when I had none at all, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. I think about a nursery, and I picture curly heads, and one by one I count them as they slumber in their beds. If you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. I think about that nursery, and I picture curly heads, and one by one I count them as they slumber safe in their beds. If you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. We have another beautiful voice that's going to come. Kelly Jo is going to come up, and she is going to do a marvelous song that is a great way to kind of close our program. We're almost there, friends, but this one deserves to be right here. Paul Anka wrote a number that, quite frankly, is a definition for performers like Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra. You're going to change your mind about who it is that should sing this song after Kelly Jo comes up and sings My Way.
It was a tough act to follow, but I'll try. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full, I've traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, and so
Chamber singers, come on up. We've got one more song for you to do tonight. We're very excited to actually ask the treble voices and chamber singers to come and share this number with you. How many spent the summer of 1970 listening to the Carole King album Tapestry over and over again? Yes. All right, so those of you that did that, that's wonderful. You're already now going to be loving us in a moment. However, I've got a secondary thing. How many people have absolutely loved watching the television show Gilmore Girls? Right. Do you realize that the song Where You Lead is actually that song Carole King had on that album? I'm sure a lot of you have made that connection. If you don't, you're going to catch it when we sing this song for you. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to have a good time. Thank you once again, Kevin. Thank you, all of our performers, for your wonderful job tonight. Make sure that you join us in that fellowship hall down the hall for our refreshments and our Carmina Burana at the end of May. This is Where You Lead. Great job, except music's over here.
It's always something. Getting your steps in.